I'm Matt from Mammon. I'm the vocalist and we're a doom band from Melbourne, Australia.
Hi, I'm Amish from Mammon and I play lead and rhythm guitar.
Hi, I'm Sam. I play bass guitar.
So our drummer Nick, who's not here today, came up with a name for the band. Mammon's basically a demon of greed, and we thought it was quite fitting since we live in a very materialistic society and basically people do bow down before the throne of greed. We started jamming after another band we were working on didn't quite come together. We could never really lock down the lineup, and we also aren't very good at our instruments, so we needed to play slower. I've basically just been growing my hair, eating lots of food, playing a ton of guitar and video games.
Doom Eternal.
Yes, Doom Eternal.
I've just been working on new riffs, and I've also been working on this riff playthrough series that we have on our YouTube channel. If you just type Mammon Throne in on YouTube, you can watch all the videos. It's been a good opportunity for me to sort of practice our riffs, so when we go back to rehearsing and playing, I can actually remember our songs. And I've also sat down and actually honed in on my playing and learned a few more skills. I can add a few more techniques to the two I already know.
Finding it useful as millions of guitar pedals you've bought.
I don't have millions of guitar pedals.
Only hundreds.
only no, not even.
Yeah, it's been even though the lockdown kind of sucks, it's been a good time to just sit and reflect and play music and appreciate the simpler things. So it hasn't all been terrible.
Obviously this pandemic's been terrible for a lot of people. We're very fortunate in Australia that we managed to contain it pretty early, and it looks like hopefully we're going back to some semblance of normality pretty soon. As you can see, we're all on the same couch.
Not really social distancing.
Yeah, not social distancing. It's totally legal. And pubs are going to be opening soon, hopefully, so we can get a parma and a pint, maybe.
It's been pretty shocking in most countries around the world. But I think it's also been an eye-opener in a way for us to not take the little things that we have in life for granted. For example, family, friends, the ability to just sit on the couch and do an interview like this.
It helps put everything into perspective a bit more. Yeah.
And even just the good things we have in life, like a wonderful planet to live on and stuff, things that we tend to abuse normally. I hope that we do learn from this and move forward in a progressive way where we better our society and learn from the lessons that we've experienced so far. And make the world a better place.
Yeah, personally, definitely developed a lot more gratitude and perspective over just everyday things. So, back in March we released our debut album, Forward Unto Flame. It's basically the culmination of the early jams of the band and the songs we've been gigging live quite a lot. It's out now on streaming platforms and vinyl, and even we have some cassettes. Does anyone have a tape player? I'd like to actually hear it.
I've actually never heard any of that.
Yeah. People seem to like cassettes, so we have a few cassettes.
That being said, we haven't been able to post a lot of cassettes internationally. We've posted a few, but as soon as all the restrictions ease off, we'll be happy to start posting.
Shipping costs are
a bit high from what we're extreme. We're doing our best. We've even had to fork out some of our own money to ship cassettes, but that's totally fine. If you want a cassette, that's cool, but things should get a bit better once the restrictions start to ease. Hopefully sooner than later.
I write all the lyrics for the band, which often tend to be quite dark and introspective, focusing on the darker aspects of the human psyche. But we do have a few wackier songs, such as Abhorrent Skies. I think a few of us were watching X-Files at the time or something.
X-Files.
It's all about
Because,
SBS
yeah.
on demand. It's
SBS
free.
on, SBS on
Yeah,
demand.
all the
There you
X-Files,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
That song came to there.
That song came
Yeah,
to
it's
there.
about being abducted by aliens.
The Unlucky.
And the title track, Forward Unto Flame, is a good old "You're Gonna Burn in Hell" anthem. Be afraid.
So the artwork for Forward Unto Flame was designed by Apocalyptic Nuke, is his name on Instagram, I believe.
Yeah.
Medi, if you're watching, fucking great job. It was a really awesome result. We came up with sort of well, Matthew came up with the idea.
Initially,
Yeah. And we had an idea of the sort of the colours that we wanted to use, and he really helped bring that to fruition. And
the direction we wanted to go in as
Yeah.
well. The cover basically depicts the boatman Karen from Greek mythology sailing on the river Styx on a river of souls, which basically encapsulates the main themes from the album.
Yeah, and it was a super collaborative process. We were in contact with him the whole time, and he was super easy about taking our suggestions on board and making adjustments. So it was awesome to work with him.
And he's designed a lot of cool pieces of art for different bands as well. And you can check out his artwork by typing in Apocalyptic Nuke on Instagram. And he's just a really accommodating artist to work with as well. So you definitely check him out.
So as we mentioned earlier, our album is out on vinyl, and that's all thanks to the folks at Black Farm Records up in France. We were looking at doing vinyls ourselves, but we found the cost would have been too much for us at the moment. And we reached out to them, and they were super excited about the album and said they were happy to work with us, and of course we were thrilled to work with them.
And with the advent of like DIY labels like Black Farm, they just provide so many opportunities for up and coming bands in the underground scene, like I said before, where you can actually get your music out there on an awesome medium such as vinyl, so that your fans can experience. And the other thing being that, especially Black Farm to us, the experience we've had with them has been really cool, because I think a lot of people think that with record labels they tend to sort of like change your sound or get involved in the process, and then you're restricted in terms of creativity. But that was never the case with Black Farm. They've always enshrined that the fact that it was about us. The Forward Unto Flame was about Mammon's Throne, and they wanted us to come up with the artwork ourselves, our sound, our tone, whatever we wanted.
They believed in the album.
And they believed in the album, and they said it would be an awesome product, and then they brought the vinyl to fruition. We're really thankful for that. Go support them. They've got a fantastic list of artists on their roster. A lot of Australian artists such as Lucifungus, Potion, Astrodeath and Hypergiant, and plenty of other bands. Go check them out. They're a fantastic label. We've had a brilliant experience working with them. This is not a plug. This is genuine.
they're all round really awesome to work with. So we say go check them out.
Unfortunately, we had quite a few shows lined up that we were really looking forward to playing. A lot of them were some big shows with international bands who were coming down to tour Australia, and due to the COVID-19 situation, those shows are either postponed or cancelled for the immediate future.
We were also meant to do a couple of international tours where we were meant to headline a couple of mini festivals. We were really looking forward to those, but unfortunately because of travel restrictions and the COVID-19, said festivals have been postponed, and I mean, optimistically speaking, maybe we can, they'll be resumed in 2021.
Hopefully once things relax a little bit more, we can start to get a bit more bands coming down overseas to Australia, and us getting out of Australia, and I guess in the meantime we're just looking forward to doing some local gigs. And,
Yeah, we're trying to see the positive in it. I think it'd be a good chance for the Aussie scene to really stand together, build an awesome local scene.
Yeah.
There's so many bands we still want to play with, and we've never actually played anywhere outside Melbourne, so we're really looking forward to
Getting out there.
yeah.
There's a stage out there, Mammon's Throne will play. So I'm on it.
It isn't, and don't hold us to it.
Well, we're fortunate enough not to have had any epic fail moments so far. Touch wood. Tone wood. But I personally have had a couple of miserable epic fail moments during rehearsals, where in the week leading up to the album launch, I was able to destroy both my guitars, my Flying V and my Les Paul, and thanks to Matthew, I had one of his guitars to use. But what happened was one got unfortunately knocked over my Flying V in the hard case and broke, and then my Les Paul, I dropped it, and some weird instance like for that, I had dropped it a million times before, and I know it's a Les Paul and they've got their structural defects, but because it was a week of the album launch and maybe because Mercury was in retrograde, the headstock decided to pop off and I was left with no guitars. And that was my epic fail moment. Woohoo.
The rest of us are perfect. Enough.
Just me, I guess.
Never quite seen a guitar decapitated.
Yeah.
It's quite spectacular. Yeah, it's pretty rock and roll, to be honest.
It's rock and roll. Yeah. It didn't feel rock and roll.
It happened right at the end of the song.
Right at the end of the song. It still breaks my heart today when I think of the image in my head. Because I do love all my guitars, but unfortunately these things happen.
My favorite album of the year so far is the new Paradise Lost album, Obsidian. I don't know if you can see, but I'm a huge fan. One of my favorite bands of all time. I had the opportunity to see them live in Melbourne, and for a South African boy like me, that was incredible to get the opportunity. My friends are all jealous back in South Africa. I've just been spinning the album on repeat, and I can't see anything that will top that for this year.
I've got two albums in mind. First one being a local album, Droid's Hyper Reality. I really liked that album. I thought it was super well produced. Songs were so well composed, and they're friends of ours as well, and that made it even more special. And that was a fantastic album. If you haven't listened to it yet, Droid's Hyper Reality, that's one. And the second one being a Greek cross-punk and D-beat band, Dishonor. They released their new album called ST, and I think it's just it's just cross-punk and D-beat in full force, what it should be. It's relentless, epic, violent, slightly gritty. I can go on describing it. If you haven't checked it out, it's on their Bandcamp, and it's my first time hearing of this band, Dishonor, but I was super impressed, and I've been listening to that album on repeat. Definitely check it out.
Speaking of friends in the friends of the band and the local scene, I'd say Thor's new album, Church of Dagon, was really awesome. It's really cool to hear that sort of really dropped down, low tuning,
lots
rattling,
of brown notes.
Brown notes, doom. It's good. It's other than that, I've probably been listening to lots of old
Drop
shit.
Q.
Down.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, just getting back to the studio and having a jam. We've got tons of new riffs and ideas that we've all sort of, developed in our own time that we just now need to hash out and get together.
We had a few really promising sorts of practices right before everything went into lockdown that we're sort of keen to get back into and working on, and it might be something in the works.
Regarding an EP, maybe?
Yeah, potentially.
Well, thank you very much to Olex at Antichrist magazine for having us. Cheers.